Well, without further ado, it is my pleasure, my honor. I can't say enough about these musicians, but they don't need my introductions because their music speaks for themselves. We're happy to invite now to share with us Garrett, songwriter and musician. J.D. Martin, songwriter and musician. Gretchen, who's also a songwriter. So I'm sure you will be blessed by every single note. We certainly were yesterday evening, and there's so much spirit and so much compassion and love in this music. So just relax and enjoy.
So, hi guys, you made it in this weather. Thanks for being here. We're happy to be here. We're going to start out with a song that's maybe new to you guys. It's a call and response, so it's really easy. We sing it, you sing it back. And there's going to be one line that keeps repeating throughout the entire song, and that line is, "And the whole wide world is my home." So can we just say that, just to practice? And the whole wide world is my home. Really good. Turn it up to 10. Say it like you mean it. And the whole wide world is my home. That's what I'm talking about. All right. I hear the music. I hear the music. Down in my soul. Down in my soul. I hear the music. I hear the music. Down in my soul. Down in my soul. I hear the music. I hear the music. Down in my soul. Down in my soul. And the whole wide world is my home. That's right. Well, I got a new day. I got a new day. Down in my soul. Down in my soul. And I got a new day. I got a new day. Down in my soul. Down in my soul. I got a new day. I got a new day. Down in my soul. Down in my soul. And the whole wide world is my home. I love the silence. I love the silence. Down in my soul. Down in my soul. I love the silence. I love the silence. Down in my soul. Down in my soul. I love the silence. I love the silence. Down in my soul. Down in my soul. And the whole wide world is my home. You can stand if you want for the power. I feel the power. There's power. Down in my soul. Down in my soul. I feel the power. I feel the power. Down in my soul. Down in my soul. I feel the power. Down in my soul. Down in my soul. And the whole wide world is my home. Yes, it is. And the whole wide world is my home. While you're standing, if you want, you can meet your neighbor, say hello, introduce yourself.
I love this namaste. Is that part of the No, we live
Thanks, you guys. Let's start moving your way back to your chairs. We're going to check in with each other after the service.
Thank you.
This is a song that was inspired by John O'Donoghue, the wonderful Irish poet, and he said, when we're really in the place where we need to be, when we're remembering who we really are, then we're living in the house of the soul's belonging. Living in the house of the soul's belonging. You got it. You're on your own. Where you know without a doubt that you've made it home. Living in the house of the soul's belonging. Coming back to the holy ground that you've always known.
The kingdom of love. Where's she going? There's no competition, no contradiction, no control. You can take possession. Now I know where you are. Gain your passion. Working on a building that cannot be bought or sold.
The rhythm section.
Living in the house of the soul's belonging,
Where you know without a doubt that you made it home.
by the way, those little sheets have the words. Living in the house
Of the soul's belonging. Coming back to the holy ground that you always known.
stepping through the feeling, sweet surrender. Let yourself remember who you are. Where you can take your own sweet time and ease your troubled mind in the secret sanctuary of the heart. Living in the house
Of the soul's belonging. Where you know without a doubt that you made it home. Living in the house of the soul's belonging. Coming back to the holy ground that you always known.
There is room for all the kindness you can hold, and you know you can take it with you everywhere you go. Living in the house of the soul's belonging, where you know without a doubt that you made it home. Yeah, we're living in the house of the soul's belonging. Coming back to the holy ground that you've always known.
Coming back to the holy ground that you've always known. Coming back to the holy ground that you've always known. Oh, that was good.
We like to sing.
Let's take a minute and just center down with all that lovely energy still moving. And just drop deeply into this present moment of now. Letting go of anything that might be swirling around in our minds or in our bodies that would take us away from being right here. being aware of the silence, being aware of the space between the words, the space between the notes of the songs, the space is in between us. And that lovely awake awareness that we are swimming in, that is everywhere present, that is the divine love intelligence that we are, that creates worlds. And I know that this essence, this beautiful aliveness, is not only looking through my eyes, it's breathing me, it's breathing all of us. Just check with that incoming and outgoing of the breath. Drop deeply into being aware of following this lovely aliveness inside of us, and begin to know that we're not breathing ourselves. There's nothing that we have to do to make this breath come and go. It's a gift. It's being given. The energy behind this breath is the energy behind everything. So as we look into the world, as we walk into the world, that we know that we're all connected here. That this is that same consciousness looking back at us and indeed encouraging us to wake up and remember who we really are. I know that there's a heart of harmony that we're all longing to tune into. And that it's the direct experience of remembering with great relief who we really are. The words suggest a path. The music takes us there. So we let ourselves stay in this lovely connection. Even as we open our eyes, we're just going to continue doing this meditation throughout the whole morning, because we can do that with open eyes as well, open hearts as well. As we remember, I'm just speaking for myself here, just remembering that, man, this life is a love story. Seriously. You know what I'm saying? It's like, that's what's running the show. And a lot of stuff comes in between us and that, between me and that realization a lot of times. But I know that you guys, because you already know how to do meditation, you're already doing your spiritual practice. You walk in this door and this whole place fills up with heart. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's really the essence. And to me, that's the doorway. It's a really good doorway to that great essence that we are. So as we stay in this place of the heart, remembering that we're all in cahoots here, you know, it's like a big improv, and that each of us has a part to play here. It's like, this is really a cool thing that we get to be here. How grateful, you know, that we can be for this. So I will say, for myself and actually for JD too, isn't it an interesting time in history? I don't know how much I need to say about this, because you guys all know that. I mean, personally, I realize I've been in a state of kind of PTSD for a while now, where it's just like, wow, so much happening that I didn't think was going to happen, do you know? And it's like, there's this sense of urgency. I'm, again, speaking for myself, of like, we've been doing all this work for all this time. And now there's a sense of time to step it up. You know, isn't it time for each of us to just show up a little bit more and turn up the volume so that we bring this heart, this essence of who we are into the world, whatever that is for each of us. You know, it's different. But to do that. So JD and I were like, what can we do? What can we do? Oh, we're songwriters. Oh, we're singers. Oh, you know, so it's like we've started writing some songs that I would call very strong songs that we feel are powerful and pertinent and kind of perfect for the challenging times that we're all moving through right now. And so we're in the process of making a new album. Yoo-hoo! Yay! Thank you guys. And we're actually inviting you all to participate in this. Because it's like, honestly, for myself, it's like, I didn't need to do a new album. You know, I mean, it's a lot of work. It's a whole lot. It's very expensive. it takes a lot to get it together. And there's a part of it that was just like, well, why don't we just sit back and relax a little bit here? And it's like, no, you need to step it up. So we're inviting you guys to participate in whatever ways that might seem appropriate to you. I'm just going to give this little commercial. We've got our CD table back there. And if you have not yet purchased your personal truckload of Jan and JD CDs, you know, and Christmas really is just around the corner. So there's that way that you can participate in helping to support, you know, this little Slipstream Productions. And also we do have a sheet back there. If you want to order some of the songs that we're doing this morning that are brand new, if you want to order them in advance, you certainly can do that. And if you want to be a patron of the arts, you know, you're welcome to do that as well.
So it looks like we have a corporate sponsor, but we really
We
don't.
really don't. It's you.
I was showing him my t-shirt.
Oh, the t-shirt, right.
Your
Yeah.
sponsor is God.
Well, thank you.
There you go.
That's right. So really it's a synergistic thing. And having said that, let's go into the first song. Do you notice that it's raining? After a really dry summer, I mean, we live up in Willits, just as a suburb of Basalt, and it was on the 4th of July. Actually, the fire started on the 3rd of July. There were a couple of kids shooting at the shooting range we have, and of course we had all the fire restrictions in place. They should have known better, but they didn't. And they were doing target practice with tracer rounds, which are like military-style bullets with a phosphorus tip that burns at 5,000 degrees Fahrenheit. So they missed the target, and they started a fire, which then got bigger and bigger and bigger and spread and spread and spread. So on the 4th of July, you know, it was starting to move toward us. We packed up our stuff, and including the whole recording studio, and we took off. It was, the irony does not escape me that it was the 4th of July, and much of the time I felt like the whole world's on fire. But what we know at that, and by the way, our neighborhood did not burn. It could have, but the firefighters stopped it in time. And so we know that when the fires rage, it's a good thing to dream of rain.
I dreamed of rain and the rains came, soft and easy, sweet and clear. I dreamed of rain and the rains came, and peace spread over the land. I dreamed of rain and the rains came, soft and easy, sweet and clear. I dreamed of rain and the rains came, and peace spread over the land. I dreamed of summer and the winds changed, and the green was easy and the rivers ran clear. I dreamed of summer and the winds changed, and peace spread over the land. And the flowers bloom in the desert, and the air's fresh and clear. dreamed of heaven and the earth sang, and peace spread over the land. And the ancient pain is forgotten, and the Father's debts are clean. I dreamed of heaven and the earth sang, and peace spread over the land. I dreamed of rain and the rains came, soft and easy, sweet and clear. I dreamed of rain and the rains came, and peace spread over the land. I dreamed of rain and the rains came, soft and easy, sweet and clear. I dreamed of rain and the rains came, and peace spread over the land. And the flowers bloom in the desert, and the air is fresh and clear. I dreamed of rain and the rains came, and peace spread over the land. I dreamed of rain and the rains came, and peace spread over the land. I dreamed of rain and the rains came.
So before we leave that song, I'll tell you a little background about that, because in the year 2002, that summer was really, really dry too, and there were fires all over the western United States, including around here. And what I remember about that was I kept going, how, you know, what are we going to do about this? And that next winter, in January and February, we happened to be in LA. And on our drive there, we drove through, I don't know, it was like Winnemucca, or one of those, Wendover, one of those, you know, as you go Highway 80. And I remember we were going to go to breakfast, but the morning papers were out. And for some reason, it was on the front page were a picture of all the people who had died in Afghanistan as a result of that war. They were American soldiers. And these guys had died, and I remember going, oh my God, they're babies. They were like 18, 19, 20 years old. I mean, I'm just getting chills as I think about that. And I was like, ah. And then we found out that the US government was going to go into Iraq. And I remember just my heart was breaking. It's like, oh, what am I going to do? And so my friendly song angels showed up. These guys are so bossy. But anyway, they said, I started listening to some rain that was happening on the roof when we were there in LA with our friends. And I started getting the melody and the words that were, I dreamed of rain and the rains came. Soft and easy, sweet and clear. Cool. I dreamed of rain and the rains came, and then the left hemisphere of my brain bullied its way in and said, you know, it's got to rhyme with clear. Do you know what I'm talking about? And I was like, really? Okay. So I'm like, you know, well, blah, 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 washed away my fear or something. And then the song angels went, no way. Do not go to fear. Do you need to go to fear? No. We do not need to go to fear right now. And I was like, yes, but it has to rhyme. And they said, no, it doesn't. There are lots of beautiful songs that don't rhyme. They said, what do you really want to say? And I said, I just want to say, I want peace to spread over the land. And they said, just say that. Sing that. So over the next few days, I started getting downloads of all this thing, and that song came through. And for quite a while, I kept it to myself because it felt really so real and so precious to me. And I was afraid to sing it for JD because I thought he might think it was hokey or something. It was so simple. And it wasn't until that next summer when we were putting an album together and we were looking at the list of songs, and we like to kind of trade off on the lead, you know, who's singing the lead vocal. And I was looking at that and I said, hey, babe, you know, you need to sing another song here. And he said, well, I don't know, I don't have a song. And I was like, well, I have a song. So, so humbly. And so I brought out I Dreamed of Rain, and I played it for him. And then it was when he put it in his key, with that velvet voice, and with that cool piano thing that he does. And then I was like, that's the way that song is supposed to sound. So we recorded it, put it out into the world. Other people started recording it. And a few years ago, it was picked up by a choral publisher in Vancouver, who then arranged that song for choirs.
Wow.
Yeah, and so what, I know I'm getting chills too. And so what he told us is that there, in North America alone, there are 350,000 choirs. When you count, school choirs and community choirs and church choirs and the whole deal. And so he put it into the world in his little network, and that song started to be a bestseller for him. So the song is now being sung not only in North America, but also in England, in Finland, in Durban, South Africa, in Shanghai. You can Google it. And like all this stuff starts popping, Canada, all over Canada. And it's like, wow, is that the coolest? Because if I had gone with my little shy thing, that song would still be in the drawer somewhere. But because it was like I had to bring it out, all of this stuff started happening. So those people that we will never meet have to learn the words to that song for their Wednesday night choir practice. Like, how does that happen? So what I want to say to you guys, what we all want to say to you guys is, again, if there's something that you have that you've kind of kept to yourself a little bit, I know you guys are active and you do great stuff in the world, but maybe there are other things that you can show up just that bit more and turn up the volume on that, because you know what, the world really needs you guys right now. Having said that.
It's me?
Yeah.
My turn?
It's JD's turn. Let's give him a big hand.
Thanks so much. Sometimes Janelle said, well, let's let him speak. And so I have permission on. So my father was a Mennonite minister, and when I was in high school, we lived in this farm town in the middle of Illinois, and there were cornfields all around. And all of the people within 20 miles were of European descent. And somehow my father caught a vision, a passion for civil rights movement. And he started to talk about it, he started to preach about it, and I don't know that he was all that popular. I actually don't know, because I was just a high school kid. I don't know what was really going on, but I was so impressed by him and his passion for it. And so, in the current world, in the world we live in here in this country, the thing that breaks my heart probably the most is the fact that immigrants are treated like non-people sometimes, and I can't stand it. So I got together with a couple of other writers and wrote a song about it. The song is inspired by a German minister, and you guys can tell me if I'm saying this right. Martin Niemöller. Is that close?
Niemöller, yeah.
Oh, so you said, how you said it?
Martin Niemöller.
Niemöller.
Well, I got
You did it.
not even half close. But perfect.
Got it perfect.
So at the end of World War II, Martin Niemöller,
Yeah.
close? Okay. He was a German pastor. He basically created a little poem, I think over time, that said, they came for the socialists. I wasn't a socialist, so I didn't say anything. They came for the Jews. I was not a Jew. I didn't say anything. Then they came for me, and there was no one left to speak for me. For the past 4 years, Guadalupe checked in to the Phoenix office of immigration. Both of her
was born. But everything changed the day they took her away. In the home of the brave, in the land of the free, we are immigrants and pilgrims and refugees from every nation, one family. When you come for Guadalupe, you come for me. For the past 2 years, Kamal made his rounds. Interfaith Medical Center, New York City. He went to Sudan to visit his mom. But everything changed, he couldn't come back, he was stranded. In the home of the brave, in the land of the free, we are immigrants and pilgrims and refugees from every nation, one family. When you come for Kamal, you come for me. Give me your tide, your poor huddled masses. This is America, built by dreamers, yearning to breathe free. If I had to leave my country, what would I do? If the way I dressed was a trigger for you, if I'm not welcome here, where would I go? Could I sail away on an unknown ocean of hope? In the home of the brave, in the land of the free, we are immigrants and pilgrims and refugees from every nation, one family. When you come for Guadalupe, when you come for Kamal, when you come for my neighbor, you come for me.
We gotta take care of each other. We really do. There's this lovely quote from Einstein, and I won't be able to say it in German. But basically, the gist of it is, you cannot solve a problem from the same level of consciousness that created it. You've heard that before. So there's this sense, what an incredible invitation that is. You know, you hear about the paradigm shift or whatever, it's like, yeah, this is like an invitation for all of us. I have to say that after the 2016 election, that space in between the election itself and the inauguration, there was a lot of talk. President Obama was talking a lot about the peaceful transfer of power. He wanted a smooth transition. And I was a little agitated, and I'm like, what do you mean the peaceful transfer of power? And you know what I'm saying? That's just me. And what was interesting, we were in Los Angeles actually, staying with a friend on that Friday that the inauguration happened. I think it was the 20th of January. The next day was the Women's March. And so what happened, from what we understood, and our friends were in LA, so they went to do the march, and we found out later that worldwide there were over 3 million people marching on that day. Not just the women with their little pink hats, but their husbands, their dads, their friends, their kids, their neighbors, their sisters were all over the world doing this march of solidarity, a heart march basically. And from what I understand, not one incident of violence, not one. 3 million people. So I went, that's the peaceful transfer of power. Wow. Here we go. Here we are. There's a wonderful writer and author, and some of you guys may know of her, Brene Brown.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, a lot of people are talking about. So Brene Brown is this wonderful, she's a clinical psychologist. She's a professor at the University of Houston. She's a straight talking Texan, does not pull any punches. And Brene Brown has written a whole lot about vulnerability, about true courage and true belonging. I'm going to read a little bit of this because she's so cool. So, Brene talks at length about the difference between true belonging and just fitting in. She says, in an age of increased polarization, it's easy to fall into a kind of false intimacy with other people when we join together against a common enemy. Know what I'm talking about? But what we are actually longing for is the internal strength and courage to know who we really are and to find sacredness both in being a part of something and in standing alone when necessary. Brown's extensive research has found that we human beings are hardwired for connection. So in order to be hateful and violent to one another, we must first dehumanize our enemies. The 4 practices of true belonging require us to be vulnerable, get uncomfortable, and learn how to be with people without sacrificing who we are and what we value. Isn't this interesting? Yeah, really? And so here are the 4 practices. People are hard to hate close up. Move in. Number 2, speak truth to BS, but be civil about it. Number 3, hold hands with strangers. And 4, strong back, soft front, wild heart. In her new book, Braving the Wilderness, Brene speaks soulfully of true belonging and wholeheartedness in the wilds of our psyche. The internal wilderness is an untamed, unpredictable place of solitude and searching. It is a place as dangerous as it is breathtaking, a place as sought after as it is feared. But it turns out to be the place of true belonging, and it's the bravest and most sacred place you will ever stand. Here's a new song, and this is a track from our new album. So you'll hear a whole orchestra, although there's not one up here.
It's the modern orchestra, made in a computer.
Yeah, let's do it. We are man and woman, we are black and white. With the spaces in between us, we are wrong and right. We are so much more than what we can see. And we're searching for belonging. We are tough and tender, we are brave and afraid. We are scared and excited, we are grit and grace. We are standing together, we are standing alone, and we're searching for belonging. Strong back, soft front, we are walking the wilderness. Strong back, soft front, wild heart. Wild heart. Well, I find myself living in that high lonesome sound, just trying to fit in the middle of the crowd. I'm a solitary dreamer on the outside looking in, and I'm searching for belonging. Well, it takes a lot of courage to finally leave home and go out beyond the boundaries of the safety we've known. We take our better angels wherever we go when we're searching for belonging. Strong back, soft front, we are walking the wilderness. Strong back, soft front, wild heart. I hope that I can learn what it takes to be brave and to offer to you the connection I crave. 'Cause when I stand in my soul, I can give you my song, and I know that that's my true belonging. Strong back, soft front, walking the wilderness. Strong back, soft front, wild heart. Strong back, soft front, we are walking the wilderness. Strong back, soft front, wild heart, wild heart, wild heart.
Yes. Thank you.
You know, here in Western Colorado, you know what I'm talking about with the wilderness. You guys know that, so thank you so much for that. Let's see. We have one more song, and this next song is something that'll be on our new album as well. Hold on.
We have so many songs.
Somebody talk a little bit. Tell them something, babe.
For those of you that were at the show last night, thank you for coming out.
Yay.
We had a great time at the Cavalcade, and if you don't know the Cavalcade in Fruta, go find out about it. It's a really cool place. A non-profit, a lot of performance goes there, and it's a quiet, it's listening room, which is just so unusually wonderful for people like us. And maybe you too.
Yes.
Yay. So to introduce this last song, we did a concert actually in Denver in July, and we kind of laid all these heavy songs on everybody, and they were really kind. The audience was very kind, and they seemed to like it. They seemed to love it, actually, and support it. But at the end of the night, I'm like, man, these are heavy songs. We got to write something a little more, upbeat. And so we were thinking about that, and JD had a beautiful beginning that he had, like a piano thing that he'd been working on, and I was like, yeah, that's great. And in the meantime, I had been watching some news, and I got, oh dear, right? And so I've gotten a little bit activated. I was actually, what I was doing was I was remembering, we were talking earlier today about critical thinking, and how if you grew up with a really good education, you have critical thinking. And I remember, I think it was 9th grade, civics class. I don't even want to tell you about the teacher, but the content was kind of interesting. And so in that class, we had to learn the preamble to the Constitution and the Declaration of Independence. So here, the preamble to we the people of the United States, in order to form a more perfect union, establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility, provide for the common defense, promote the general welfare, and secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and our posterity, do ordain and establish the Constitution, blah, blah, blah. So I'm walking around the house with the people. And I'm like, awesome. Damn it. And then, and I'm trying to remember the Declaration of Independence. When in the course of human events it becomes necessary for one, and I got as far, I'm walking around the house, and the song angels are following me around. I'm going, when in the course of human events, but it was when in the course of human kindness. I'm like, wait a minute, what do you mean? Kindness. And they said, just think about that for a minute. Why wouldn't it be? When in the course of human kindness, it becomes clear that the time has come to willingly set aside our blindness and see the world as one. Yes. I said, go with that. So we did.
This has a fairly simple chorus that you're sure welcome to join us on.
Yes.
It's basically shine on and steady on. And if you can't remember that, I'll let you know in a week.
Course of human kindness, it becomes clear that time has come to willingly set aside our blindness and see the world as one. Nobody here has yet forgotten all of the joys we've ever known in following freely what we feel. Finding our way home. Shine on, shine on.
That's your part.
Steady on, steady on. We the people come together, bringing the best of who we are. All we remember, tough and tender, leading with our hearts. The future is looking back with love, encouraging every step we take, guiding us through the darkest times, and blessing us on our way. Shine on. One more time. Shine on, shine on, steady on. protecting what is wild, connecting what is living in every woman, man, and child. A joyful revelation, the hope comes shining through in the silver singing river, and in the rising of the moon. Shine on, shine on, steady on, steady on. One more time, shine on, shine on, steady on. We've lost forever, leaving a longing in our souls, gathering all this love together, setting our sights for home. Every road we've ever traveled, all of the wonders near and far, all of these gifts come round again and bring us to where we are. Shine on, shine on, stay on, in every woman and child. Shine on, shine on, stay on. Of human kindness, it becomes clear the time has come.
It's time for our love offering now. And we here at Unity Grand Valley have a little bit of a mantra that we say, so if you know it together. Divine love flowing through me, blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive.
Here's a song that comes from a phrase by a 14th century Christian mystic woman whose name was Julian of Norwich. And she said, all shall be well, and all manner of things shall be well. So 6-7 centuries later, I think it's probably a good idea to say that again and mean it. All shall be well, all shall be well, all manner of things shall be well. All shall be well, all shall be well, all manner of things shall be well. I am walking through the green pastures, and I know that I am not alone. The song of the meadowlark sings to my soul, tenderly calling me home. And all shall be well, all shall be well, all manner of things shall be well. still waters, as fresh as the breeze at dawn. The voice of my ancestors whispering, giving me the strength to carry on. And all shall be well, all shall be well, all manner of things shall be well. And all shall be well, all shall be well, all manner of things shall be well. Surely goodness and mercy will follow, and love will be leading the way. Every shadow will shine in the fullness of time, and bloom in the hearts of the brave. And all shall be well, all shall be well, all manner of things shall be well. All shall be well, all shall be well, all manner of things shall be well. And all shall be well, all shall be well, all manner of things shall be well. All shall be well, all shall be well, all manner of things shall be well. All manner of things shall be well.
Det var bra.